Hello grade 12s. Today I'm working through a past paper. I'm looking at the Loci mechanism of the 2016 IEB final paper. The common shape for the mechanism in the IEB has been a circle, because the fact of the matter is that is the whole function of the locus, what happens in one full revolution. The key then would be to put in your divisions here. You've then got a rod with a point that they want you to then construct the locus, and on the other side, this rocking backwards and forwards motion here is going to mean we're going to have a semicircle on the side. So my first steps after reading the instructions is to put in your divisions, put in the direction of rotation, and then draw a semicircle on the other side. So there I've got my construction. I've put in my pizza slices, I've put in my semicircle, and I'm going to put in my direction of rotation, which is clockwise. So as far as your mark allocation is concerned, I think I've done the setup alright. I've certainly done the direction over there, and I like to label my points, so that would be 0, and just label them. Doesn't really matter which direction you go. It's only important in a cam where we follow a certain pattern, not so much here for the mechanism. So we're trying to work out what happens as AB moves to the next point 1, to the next point 2, to the next point 3, to the next point 4, 5, and as it works its way around the shape, what's going to happen. I'm going to measure the distance of A to P, and that distance is 40. Now I'm going to take my compass, set it to my AB distance, the distance of the rod, which doesn't change. And I can mark it off. That's going to give me point B1. B2. And B3. Line the points up. Now, as we've said, we've worked out that this distance is extending 40. So what I want to do is line up point B1 to A1, and then extend the line 40. So there I've lined up my ruler. There I've got this point, and when I draw that line, I extend it, and there is going to give me point P1. I go to point B2, I line that up with A2, and I line it up with this point of 40 that I extend to give me point P2. Here's point 3, line that up with the 40, line that up with point P3, extend that line where it hits, gives me point P3, and we can repeat the process. So I go to point 4. You can do this one at a time. So this is B4, here is B5, if you're going to do them one at a time, that could be easier. If you're going to do it multiple, just make sure you line up the correct points. Okay, because here is B6, I need to line that up with A6. Now as you can see, the distance there is the 40, and that's lined up to 160. Draw my line at the end of that, gives me P6. Here's P5, line that up with 40, line that up to B5 over here. That's lining up, extend my line, and there is P5. P4, line it up with the 40, the extension, line it up with where B4 is, extend that line, and that's going to give me P4. Back to my compass, put it at 0.7, there is P7, P8, P9, line them up. So there's 9, there's the 40, line that up with 160 on this side, pull the line in and mark off where P9 is. Here's P8, line it up with your 40, line it up with your 160 on the other side, and mark that off, giving me P8. That was P7, line it up with the 40, extend, and where that point is gives me P7. Okay, my last points 10 and 11. There's B10, B11. Okay, line them up with 40 and point 11, 11. Is P11, here is P10, lining up with 40, here's P10, and now we've got all our points. So there was 0 and 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and back to 12. With your joining this shape, you want to try and join this shape with a circle stencil, a French curve or a flexi curve, and if not, a nice steady curved shape. So here we go, 0, 1, 2, 3, It's always good to try and pull your pencil as opposed to push it. Okay, and there I've got my locus for 3 marks. I've plotted my 11 points and hopefully the marks for the construction and setup. I've done my semicircle, I've done my pizza slices, after my direction of rotation, and that is the 2016 question 2b, Loci Mechanism